how does a person do devotional service? What does devotional service do? What does it transcend?
It takes devotees to the pathway of liberation and towards divine Krishna, Supreme.
Yeah. And what does it transcend? Two things it transcends. Two things it transcends, जिसमें हम फंस जाते हैं.
मटेरियल एग्जिस्टेंस से मुक्त हो जाते हैं.
हाँ, बट मटेरियल एग्जिस्टेंस में भी दो रुकावट है जिसको हम क्रॉस कर सकते हैं.
एक है डिजायर.
नहीं माता जी, इंटेलेक्चुअल कॉम्प्रिहेंशन एंड रिचुअलिस्टिक प्रैक्टिसेस. We think that devotion is something very, very complicated, only meant for pandits, highly learned. And so most of them get attracted to, lots of reading and Vedas and all that. And ritualistic practices. Without taking the essence. What is the essence? Pure devotional
spiritual
service
realization. We get pure spiritual realizations.
Basically, we have to develop love for the lotus feet of the Lord.
And it deepens our devotion.
Correct. So we come out of this by practicing like pure devotional service transcends two very complicated things, two hurdles, which is intellectual comprehension and ritualistic practices. It transcends these two, okay, which are quite an hindrance on the path of devotional service. Okay, eternal relationship with the Lord and his devotees. So here we saw the Mataji very nicely narrated the tale of Indra and the Maruts. So what was the actual meaning of Maruts she gave? In fact, Charu Prabhuji explained that. Marut. What was the...
Maruda. That means all the 49 fishes of Maruts were crying.
Yeah, so there are two words. One is Ma and one is Root. What did Charu Prabhuji explain the meaning of?
Ma means no. Ma means no. Ruta means cry. Don't cry.
Very good. Very nice. Wonderful, Mataji. Marut means don't cry. No? So they were saying Marut. Marut means don't cry. And what are Maruts? Exactly what are they? What gods?
That the Maruts were embryo in the womb of mother Diti. She was given the boon by Kashyap that...
yeah, but what gods do they represent? What kind of gods are they?
Wind god.
Vayu, wind.
Wind, perfect.
Wind god.
Okay, now we come to illusion, and after this I will stop because I think there's not enough time. So illusion, so Maya, what is the role of Maya? What does she do? What does the illusionary energy of Lord do? What does she do to the conditioned soul?
She traps into a material existence.
Yeah. She keeps them pulling away from the connection to the Lord. Okay. And what is the reality? So when the connection gets disconnected, what happens?
We have to connect with the Supreme. And she takes away from Supreme.
Then what happens? If we go away, what happens?
Then we'll again come to the repeated birth cycle, birth and death cycle.
Suffering. Repeated birth and cycle is suffering. Okay. So basically, here this point is very important. Misconception often lead to suffering, guiding practitioners towards the path of enlightenment. So it is very important to understand illusion and reality in order to come out of this trap. And what is the role of surrender? In this very important role surrender plays in pure devotional service. What is the role of surrender? You align to what? You give in to what?
We develop complete faith on God, surrendering everything and thinking that Avashya Krishna Rakhive. So that is how we are connected with Supreme Personality Godhead, and we get
Okay.
detached from material.
This misconcept of material existence we realize, and we turn towards Lord.
Yeah, correct. But when we surrender, what are we doing? You answered the same question before also, Harsha Mataji. What do we do?
We are, when we go to Krishna, he takes a charge of us, and we come out of this birth and death cycle.
But
and
he doesn't take charge. He doesn't take charge immediately. What do we do before he takes charge?
Bhakti.
No, we
turn
align
towards
to
bhakti, and we get aligned to Krishna.
When we accept his will, that time he comes. That time he, he intervenes.
Yes.
Before
Yes,
that,
thank
he
you,
will not.
Mataji.
And what
Thank
does
you.
it highlight, Harsha Mataji? Surrender highlights which qualities? Very important quality that it takes a lot of humility. Yes. Humility and humility. Okay, this is the same humility. So transcendental qualities of the Lord. So we need to understand the transcendental qualities of Lord. We need to know that He is the utmost compassionate, He is omnipotent, and His mercy is limitless. Unless and until we understand that, we would not want to develop a loving devotional service, or we would not want to develop a connection with Him. So Drumila Yogendra Sri Drumila answers about the incarnations of Lord Hari, why Lord's incarnation are so multifaceted, and what are the need of that, and why that makes Lord the ultimate. Now, very important question is, if Lord is incarnating, he is coming in the right time, in the right form to protect or to take charge of the situation, because there is a chaos and nobody can manage. So then Lord comes as Lord incarnates. So what is he showing? It is absolute
mercy, compassion, and omnipotence and omnipresence.
And also one very important thing that he is showing is that I'm not far away from you. I'm very near. I'm the most nearest. And you have to call me only, not anybody else. No? So this is what I'll stop here, Prabhuji.
Reciprocal relationship.
Yes. Yes. He not only reciprocates, but he protects also. And he gives guidance. Yes. Very nice chapter. Thank you, Prabhuji. I'll stop here so that you can continue.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much. And thank you all the devotees for participating. Then let us start today's lesson. Today's lesson is 149. 149, and we will be studying the text 1 to 18 in that. And this is the 8th question we will be discussing. Sri Chamasa, he will be answering the destination of those who were inimical to the worship of Lord Hari. This we are discussing today, but in one sentence I must tell you that if anybody is inimical to worship of Lord Hari, where does he go? Any answer? Where will he go?
He goes to everyone. That person goes to the hellish planets.
He will go to the hellish planets. But in this, I want to tell you certain things. If somebody is staying in India, he did not go to the hellish planets at all. It is very, very easy in comparison to staying in other parts of the world. I'll tell you how. And the other points we will see in the next class. I'll give certain points in very the point form only that you understand. Like Mokshadaika Puris. If somebody dies there, lives there and dies there, then he is liberated. What all? Ayodhya, Mathura, Maya, Kashi, Kanchi, Avantika, Puri, Dwaravati, Chaiva, Saptaita, Mokshadaika, Ayodhya, Mathura, that is Mathura, Vrindavan, Haridwar, Varanasi, Kashi, Varanasi, Kanchipuram, Ujjain, Dwarka. Then next, very important about Vrindavan. If somebody takes birth there, if somebody dies there, if somebody dies somewhere else, but the body is cremated in Vrindavan, or any one of the 16 or sanskaras, if they take place, then he will not go to hellish planets. And then who are all? If you are wearing a Tulasi Kanthi Mala, he will not, that person will not go to the hellish planets. If one is wearing Uddha Pundraka, that is the Vaishnava Tilak, then he will not go. Then another very interesting thing given in the Puranas, uh, if you see a pure devotee, then at the last moment, then that person will not go to hellish life. And another very interesting thing, if there is a salagram shila within one yojana, wherever you are staying, if somewhere somebody has kept a salagram shila within 12 kilometers, then all the persons, they will not go to the hellish planets, they will go to Vaikuntha at least. So it is so easy. Okay, let us see what we expect in this today's class. In this chapter, we will be studying about the destination of persons who are inimical to the worship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We call Hari or Krishna or anything else. And those who are unable to control their senses and who are not peaceful along, and they will go to the hellish planets. And presuming themselves to be great scholars and not understanding what is the meaning of karma, those people, they become the flatterers of the deities, that is the demigods, in their greed for fruitive results, and they ridicule not only the devotees but the supreme personality of the Godhead. And they are fixed in the family life, attached to mundane gossip and indifferent to the devotional service of the Supreme Lord. And those and to become disentangled from such life in all respects. This is what is the teaching of the Vedas, the Shastras, the sadhus, everybody. And real wealth is that which is conducive to faithful execution of one's duty, that is the devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, how this chapter starts? This chapter starts with King Nimi asking questions to the Navayogendras. He's asking, kindly explain to me the destination of those persons who, for the most part of their life, they do not worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead and who are unable to quench their material desires and who are not in control of their senses. Now, as we know, in the fifth chapter, Chamasa describes the condition of those who do not worship the Lord. And Sri Chamasa, he would answer that each of the four social orders headed by the Brahmanas, as you know, the Brahmanas, they were born through different combinations of the modes of nature. From the face, the Brahmanas; from the arms, the Kshatriyas; from the thighs, the Vaishyas; and from the feet, the Sudras. They have been created by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Supreme Lord. And if any of the members of these four varnas and the four ashramas, they fail to worship or intentionally disrespect the personality of Godhead, then they go to a hellish state of life. And there are many persons who have little opportunity to take part in discussions about the Supreme Lord, and thus it is very difficult for them to chant his infallible glories. And such persons, fallen classes, always deserve the mercy of the great personalities like the sadhus, On the other hand, the Brahmanas, the members of the royal order, the Vaishyas, even after being allowed to approach the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord by receiving the Vedic education and a second birth, they also become bewildered and adopt various materialistic philosophies. And this is very, very surprising. And they become arrogant, they become proud, and they act like fools. And due to influence of the mode of passion, the materialistic followers, they become subject to violent desires, and they become excessively lusty, and their anger is like a snake. And the materialistic followers of the Vedic rituals, that is the karma kandis, they give up the worship of the Lord, instead practically worshipping their family members. And the intelligence of cruel minded persons is blinded by false pride, which we know very well. And the Supreme Lord is eternally situated in the heart of every embodied being. Still, the Lord remains situated apart. Just as the sky is all pervading, it does not mix with the material objects. And therefore, the Lord who is worshipable and with the absolute controller of everything, that should be understood by everybody. And in this material world, one should not get too much involved in the various things. And the proper fruit of acquired wealth is religiosity, on the basis of which one can acquire a philosophical understanding of the life. That is very, very important. And according to Vedic injunctions, uh, um, some people like the Karmakandis, they believe that when wine is offered in sacrificial ceremonies, it is good, and that's why one should keep on drinking. But the meanings are much different. That should be understood. It is not permitted to drink wine. It is not permitted to kill any animal for any sacrifice. All these things are given, but people do not understand. And those sinful persons who are ignorant of the actual religious principles, yet they consider themselves to be pious. And this is very, very common in the present day world. And those who have not achieved knowledge of the Supreme Lord, the Absolute Truth, yet who are still beyond the darkness of complete ignorance, they generally follow the threefold path of pious material life, that is religiosity, economic development, and sense gratification. But that is not the correct way. One should follow the path of devotional service. And those who have turned away from the Supreme Lord Vasudeva, being under the spell of Lord's illusory energy, what we are speaking even during the recap today, what happens to them? They are eventually forced to give up their so-called everything they have, which were all created by the illusory potency of the Supreme Lord. They enter against their will into the darkest regions of the Supreme Lord. And there is a verse in the Isopanishad also, Asurya Namate Loko Andhena Tamasa Vrata, those who do not establish a relation to Paramatma and enjoy the world, they are called killers of the soul, and they go to demoniac worlds covered by darkness after giving up their body. Let us go to next slide. Now, the consequences of hostile behavior toward the Hari. Hostile behavior means not only to the Supreme Lord but to his devotees also. If somebody is hostile to the devotees, the Lord is not happy. Lord is most unhappy because of that action. Now, this section delves into dire repercussions faced by those who oppose the worship of Lord Hari and fail to master their senses. That means the importance is one should not be indulged in sense gratification. one should try to fulfill rather instead of fulfilling our own senses or gratifying our senses, we should gratify the senses of the Supreme Lord. That should be our duty. It underscores the painful reality that neglecting divine worship pain and suffering in future incarnations. In future births, one will be suffering not only after dying immediately, but thereafter in many lifetimes also. That's why one should be very, very careful. And this theme powerfully illustrates the critical nature of devotion and the grave consequences of defying divine will, demonstrating how our actions decisively influence our spiritual destiny. We all are responsible for all the actions. We should not try to blame any destiny. We should not try to blame anybody else for that matter, including the demigods or anything else. We ourselves are responsible for whatever condition in which we are. And it reinforces the law of karma. If there is an action, there will be a reaction also. That has to be understood by all of us, showcasing spiritual ignorance. If we are ignorant, then we will suffer. And enmity towards the divine yields negative outcomes. And this serves a profound call to cultivate unwavering devotion. That's why what is the, the way out? It is devotional service, or what the Prabhupada says, loving devotional service to the Supreme Lord. And the essence of human creation and Varnasrama Dharma, the Lord says He has created this Varnasrama Chaturvarnam Maya Srushtam. The Lord has created Himself. That's why one has to follow. But as you would have seen in Kali Yuga, it is declining. It is not being followed. What is given in the Shastras. This chapter explores the origin of the four Varnas and the four Ashramas from the body of Lord Vishnu, what I spoke to you, emphasizing their vital connection to his worship. It stresses that failing to honor this divine source precipitates a fall from spiritual grace. If one does not follow what is to be done in his Varna and Asrama, then he is likely to fall down. There is no doubt about it. And this theme is pivotal as it aligns the Vedic society with divine intention. Now, as the Vedic society is declining, all these values, they are not being understood by everybody. And what is given in the Vedas, they have become not intelligible. We are not able to understand them. That's why whatever gist is being given by the sadhus, by guru, that is also not being followed. And that's why we are in this position, positioning the worship of Lord Hari as essential for fulfilling our dharma. Our dharma, religious duty, is to worship the Supreme Lord. This is in very, very brief. It highlights the intricate connection between social responsibilities and spiritual practices. One may say, I have got so many social responsibilities. I am serving, I am 24 hours working for my boss, for my country, for my this thing, that thing, like this. But that is what is not very correct. Still, then we should find out some time for spiritual practice, and advocating for a life steeped in divine principles as the path of true liberation. This insight instills both a sense of duty and reverence, guiding individuals toward harmony with the divine will. We should find some time to study the Shastras and be in the assembly of the sadhus. We should know what is our religious duty, and we should revere not only the Supreme Lord which is in the temples, but he is to be seen in every creation of the Supreme Lord. Okay, then we go to the next slide. Now the compassion of enlightened souls. as we know, the Supreme Lord is very, very compassionate. Such are his devotees also. The text emphasizes that often those marginalized in spiritual practices, such as women and Sudras, are especially worthy of the compassionate grace of enlightened beings due to their lack of awareness. Now, this may be a little controversial thing in the society, but we should know that what is given in the Shastra. What is given is what the people say, the learned people say, the women Sudras, they are not given importance, nobody teaches them. If they are taught, then they will learn. The women, it is not correct to assume that they will only do the household duties. They have got other things also to have to practice devotional service also. The Sudras who are providing service to the other three varnas, they are not taught at all. That's why they should, the others should be compassionate to them and teach them what is to be done. And then things will fall in their right place. And this theme powerfully advocates for inclusivity in spiritual growth. Everybody should be included. Nobody should be left out. If somebody does not know, he should be taught, suggesting that divine mercy is available to all, irrespective of social status. It should be available to all. That's why anybody who has got knowledge, who knows the things, it is his responsibility to distribute that. That is his responsibility. If one is sitting in the home and he says, I'll only learn the things and I will practice, that is not the correct thing, what is being said here. It should be distributed to others also. And it reflects the profound compassion inherent in spiritual truth. One should be compassionate to anybody and everybody, encouraging, and this will be developed if one has humility and recognizing that everyone holds the potential to attain devotional through grace. This is this is available to everybody, and that's why those who understand the things should convince others, should preach others. That is what is the thing. And the diverse paths of worship across the yugas. This chapter outlines the various forms in which Lord Hari manifests across the different yugas, as well as the corresponding modes of worship that are appropriate for each era. For each yuga, that is Satya, Treta, Dwapar, and Kali, they are all different. Like in Satya Yuga, everybody is a devotee of the Supreme Lord. But still, if you compare the more demoniac, the more demons have been killed by the Supreme Lord in Satya Yuga only. Okay, this theme vividly illustrates the flexibility of divine worship, emphasizing that devotion can take on diverse expressions suited to the times. Then, when the times change, then the mode of worship also change, and many things they change, and we should get used to that. And it inspires practitioners to engage in the relevant forms of worship for their age while preserving the core essence of devotion. For age, like for Kali Yuga, it is the congregational chanting. Congregational chanting, this is important. Not only individual chanting, but congregational chanting. This is very, very important in the age of Kali. And if this is done, then one fulfills the requirement what is given in the Shastra. And this understanding emphasizes the dynamic interaction between the divine and humanity, enhancing adaptability and commitment among believers. One should not think that what people who are doing in Satya Yuga or Treta Yuga I should do, that is not correct. We should adapt to what is to be done in this Yuga, that is Kali Yuga, and try to do. Next slide. Devarshi Narada, the true refuge of devotional service. Devarshi Narada concludes here. What is the dialogue is going on between whom? Devarshi Narada and Vasudevaji, Krishna's father. And Devarshi Narada concludes with the assertion that the ultimate refuge lies in devoted service, that is devotional service, that is loving devotional service to Lord Hari, transcending all material attachments and ego. We should forget everything else. We should forget all attachments to our families, to our society, to our nation, everything, and get attached to the Supreme Lord. And we should not have any false ego. We should have true ego. And what is true ego? Ego is we are servants of the Supreme Lord. That's all. And we should serve Him like a servant. And this theme encapsulates the heart of those teachings and the ultimate aim of spiritual practice, total surrender to the divine. We should be totally surrendered to the Supreme Lord. And it affirms the foundational principle of Bhakti Yoga, where the relationship between the devotee and the divine takes precedence over everything else. This has to be understood. That is, devotional service to the Supreme Lord is the main thing we should practice, and we should follow that, guiding all towards liberation from the shackles of material existence. Then Maya Devi will not be able to influence us and will not have the shackles of material existence. And the depth of divine relationship, Narada instructs Vasudevji to perceive Lord Krishna not just as son, but as the supreme personality of Godhead. Narada knows, and Vasudevji is learning that, highlighting the transcendental depth of their connection. The Supreme Lord, Lord Krishna, has descended as son of Vasudevji and Devaki Mata. And this theme emphasizes the richness and complexity of divine relationship. This is very, very complex. So you think the parents, they do not know who I am, and the Supreme Lord is coming, establishing a relationship with them, and this is very, very complex to understand, which can encompass a wide range of emotions and level of understanding. It teaches that all connections with God, whether familial or devotional, should ultimately culminate in a profound recognition of His supreme position, guiding devotees toward deeper realization and unwavering devotion. We should first know His Aishwarya, then the love will come later on. But it starts with knowing his Aishwarya content of the Supreme Lord. And in conclusion, the thematic elements collectively paint a vivid picture of the intricate relationship between divine devotion, social order, and the transformative power of mercy, an illuminative journey on the path of spirituality. If we follow what we have spoken, then Lord is very, very merciful, and His mercy will be showered on us, and we will be benefited, we will be able to understand Him, and we will follow, we will progress in the path of spirituality. Then the next slide, devotion versus non-devotion. The text starkly contrasts the fates of those who devote themselves to worshipping the Supreme Lord Hari with those who neglect such practices. Devotees triumph over material challenges and attain profound spiritual bliss, while non-devotees wander through cautionary tales, succumb to material desires, and face inevitable suffering. Now, this may be contested by very many people. They may say there are so many other people who are not devotees of the Supreme Lord, but they have got enough money, they have got enough wealth, and they are progressing. Money is coming to them by day and night, and they are enjoying all the facilities, and the devotees, they are suffering. It is not that they are earning the fruits of their previous actions, and that has got an end. When it comes to an end, they will suffer, there is no doubt. And if they are not doing devotional service in this life, and in next life, they are bound to suffer. There is no doubt about it. If that is, if we understand what suffering is. And this theme lies at the heart of text, powerfully illustrating the critical importance of devotion and the grave repercussions of ignoring spiritual supreme personality of Godhead. One who ignores him, he goes to hell. It is so clear. It underscores bhakti as the essential pathway to spiritual liberation, asserting the necessity of surrendering to God to achieve true peace and enlightenment. In bhakti, what is the first thing? We should surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And we are talking about that also today. And what about Varnashrama Dharma? The text illuminates the Vedic social framework of Varnashrama. Varnas and ashramas, there are four Varnas and four ashramas we know, encompassing four occupational duties and four life stages as vital roadmap for individual purification and spiritual realization. Why the Lord has created them? He has created that for our good only, for our purification. We will be purified and will move on the path of spiritual realization. And this structured approach serves as a ladder for uplifting those who may initially stray from devotion. Why this is there? If somebody is not practicing, if he follows this Varnashrama Dharma, automatically at one stage he will become a devotee of the Supreme Lord. That is why the Lord has made this arrangement. And this is so simple also. But some people say this is all nonsense and why should we follow? We'll do whatever we want to and they'll go to hell. There is no doubt about it. And this exemplifies the practical mechanisms with Vedic culture that foster spiritual growth and harmonize social dynamics, catering to diverse temperaments and stages of life. There are various people with various temperaments and they have various prarabdhas also. And as you know, each individual is different. But this Varnashrama Dharma, the four Varnas and four ashramas, they have been designed so scientifically that one will be free from sins and he will follow the devotional service of the Supreme Lord. It highlights the essential role of social duties in guiding individuals toward a higher understanding of the divine. If we have the capability, we have the knowledge, we should help others, affirming that societal structures must ultimately enhance spiritual aspirations. But as we see in the present day society, this aspect is declining day by day, and that's why people are suffering. We go to the next slide. The consequences of ignorance and atheism. Now the text consistently emphasizes the dire consequences awaiting those who disrespect or remain oblivious to the Supreme Lord's exalted status, forewarning them of a descent into hellish realms and an endless cycle of suffering. They will go to hell. And how many hells are there? As per in Bhagavatam, 28 hells are described. But in Garuda Purana, it is given that the number of hells is innumerable. There are enough number of hells to take care of each type of sin which is committed by such people, those who do not worship the Supreme Lord. And this theme acts as a profound cautionary reminder, reinforcing the necessity of recognizing and embracing the supremacy of the Supreme Lord to avoid tragic outcomes. If we do not want to go to the Supreme, to the hell, to hellish life, then we should recognize that the Supreme Lord is there, His rules and regulations are there, the sadhus are there, the Vedic literature is there, we should follow them. And it sheds light on the moral and ethical ramifications of one's belief and actions toward divinity, understanding the belief that ignorance of God leads to tragic spiritual decline. Now, one may argue that the individual didn't know anything, that's why whatever he did, that is correct. That is not correct at all. The ignorance also will lead to hellish life. This is to be understood. And materialism versus spirituality, the text vehemently critique materialistic pursuits such as relentless chase for sense gratification, for money, for wealth, and pride in social status. This is very bad thing and affects most of the people, demonstrating how these pursuits lead to bondage and profound suffering. In contrast, spiritual endeavors are portrayed as the only true path to fulfillment and liberation. If we want to get out of this, then we should follow the spiritual path, that is devotional service, that is loving devotional service. And this theme starkly differentiates fleeting material pleasures from enduring spiritual happiness, making a compelling case for living life centered on spiritual values. If one thinks one will do even some practices in which one can go to the the demigods sites, then that is also temporary. One will still fall down here. That means one should follow the correct path, that is, serve the Supreme Lord and not even the demigods. And it emphasizes ephemeral nature of material existence. This, whatever is happening in this material world, this is ephemeral, that is, it is temporary, and ultimate futility of seeking happiness through material means. If somebody thinks if he earns enough money or has enough wealth, then he will be happy, then he is totally wrong. Passionately advocating for a life devoted to spiritual practice. Therefore, we should follow devotional service as our aim of life. Now we'll have just a 2 minutes break, and in which you can ask questions or you can have your comments. Any comments, whatever we have heard so far? It is very straightforward class. Follow devotional service or go to hell. The choice is ours. Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, please explain to people who claim or who say that God made me do these things. He is all powerful. He made me do these things. Am I responsible than that?
Anybody has comment on that?
Prabhuji, there is a term called free will. So God shows the path, but one has to decide.
Yeah, now it is okay. Yes, please continue. Your mic is off. Mataji, your mic is off.
Prabhuji, Lord shows us the path and we should follow His will, divine will. But He has given us a free will to decide which way to go.
Okay, what basically is the Lord is all powerful. Then why He is not turning these bad things or illegal things or irreligious things, and why He is not guiding? Like people say there has been an accident, so many people have died. Why the Lord did not stop that? People often say this. And if people, and also many people say, if the Lord is there, He is so powerful, why these bad things are happening in this Kali Yuga? Now, this is what is the reason. He has given us a little independence, not full independence. If we are given full independence, then we could imagine what would have happened. He has just given a little independence, and we are misusing that. And that's why it is our condition. And what has actually happened in our many lifetimes, we would have become human beings, but perhaps we have not followed the devotional service toward the Supreme Lord. That's why still the Lord has given us a chance, and we should use our free will, and we should be out. We should not follow anything what is not given in the Shastra, what is not prescribed by the sadhus, and we should try to follow what is right. This Varnasrama Dharma, what we are saying, in this Kali Yuga, it is a little difficult to follow. It is not being followed, but to the extent it is possible, we should follow that. That means the gist is we should practice devotional service. We should offer service to the Supreme Lord, and our aim should be to make him happy. If he is happy, then everything will be all right, and Maya will not be exert her influence on her. One point about Maya, one may be thinking, why Maya Devi is doing like this? Why Maya Devi is influencing us so that we are away? Because as we spoke today, so that we will enjoy what we think to is correct because of our free will, and at the end we'll realize that these are all futile efforts. Then we'll come back in the right path. The Maya is helping the Supreme Lord in taking us to his kingdom. Prabhuji, you want to add anything?
No, I think you covered main points. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Then we go to the next slide. The role of a spiritual master. This we have seen in many discussions, because the text, what is given in this Vedic literature, they cannot be understood. They are quite opposing. That means they seem to be contradictory. Therefore, one has to go to a spiritual master to understand them correctly. The text powerfully exerts the crucial importance of a bona fide spiritual master. Then one may ask, is it necessary to go through a spiritual master? And if one practices everything what is given in the Shastra, will he not achieve the aim? No, because our intelligence is limited. The Vedic literature, they seem contradictory. That's why there has to be somebody in the disciplic succession who should be accepted as the spiritual master, and from him we should understand what is given there. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya. We should serve the spiritual master by asking questions to him. And then we will be able to understand, highlighting their essential role in guiding devotees towards authentic worship and deeper understanding of the Supreme Lord. And without such guidance, the risk of falling into ignorance is significant. The risk is there. That's why one should follow the spiritual master. But as you know, the spiritual masters is available nowadays. They are not available most of the time. You are able to see them for some time only. Then you should hear their lectures online by the electronic means. And more than that, you should have other the sadhus guiding you, and listen to them also when they are explaining the Shastras. Not only the spiritual master, but those who are in your tradition, highlighting their essential role. Now, this theme underscores the guru-disciple relationship as a cornerstone of spiritual progression and development. If one wants to progress in spiritual path, then one has to accept a guru. and there is a particular relationship between guru and disciple. What is that relationship? The disciple should ask questions and serve the supreme, the guru. And you can say, the guru is sitting in some other place, I am in some other place. How can I serve the guru? Now, serving means if you are following what the guru has said, that means you are serving. That means we should follow the guru word by word, what has been spoken by him, not only to you, but to even to other devotees. If he has spoken something, that also should be taken as an authority. And this emphasizes the necessity of receiving genuine spiritual knowledge and instruction from a qualified teacher, empowering disciples to navigate their spiritual journeys effectively while appreciating the profound impact of their guide's wisdom. Now, this has to be through the disciplic succession. It is not that there are very many people in the present day world who just study the books and compare books. They make their own literature, make their own books, and they say, we are authority. They are not the authorities. The authorities are those who are in the disciplic succession only and nobody else. And mercy of the Lord and his devotees, the text beautifully conveys that even those regarded as fallen or unqualified can receive the Lord's mercy and that of his devotees, paving their way back to spiritual advancement. If somebody says, I am totally incapable, I do not have any knowledge, I have not studied any literature, I do not have any knowledge of anything else, but still then the most fallen and the most unqualified also, they can receive the Lord's mercy, if not directly, through his devotees. Because as we know, the devotees are more compassionate than the Supreme Lord. That's why if you go after a devotee, then you will be benefited. And this thing fosters hope and inclusivity in spiritual practice, illuminating the potential for anyone to turn toward the divine with sincere intent. So, what is required from us? We should be very, very sincere in approaching a spiritual master, Shiksha Guru or a Diksha Guru, and learn from him. It reinforces the transformative power of divine compassion, showcasing that redemption is a possibility for all. Anybody and everybody can get out of their present situations, irrespective of their past. We may have created many sins in our past lives, but still that can be past, and instilling an uplifting sense of hope and inclusivity among the audience. There is a chance for all of us. That's why let us follow what is being told. The next slide, illusion, Maya and reality. This about Maya also we have been talking in each and every class almost. The text adeptly articulate how individuals become enshrined in illusion, changing the false identities and transient relationships that inevitably result in suffering when lost. Like all this wealth and money, they are with us for some time only, and these relationships, they are for some time only. Our actual relationship is with the Supreme Lord, that we have forgotten. That we should recognize. And once we do that, then we will be totally benefited. Then this theme elucidates the nature of material existence as a fleeting and illusory condition, contrasting it sharply with the eternal reality of the spiritual realm. Anything and everything what is being seen in this material world, they are fleeting and they are illusory means they will be
Rohit, please explain them what is the word fleeting means.
fleeting. Fleeting means it will pass away in some time. Like somebody is very, very rich, and you will see he is rich for some time only, and after some time, that all his money and wealth they will go. He will not have the same status. Like you would be saying, who is the richest man in the whole world? The names they keep on changing. One was rich earlier, he is not rich. Like say the strongest man, a very good fighter. That thing is with him for some time, and after some time he is not in that position at all. Like this and everything, arts and beauty, all our qualities, they are also with us for some time, and after some time they will go away. Like you would be realizing when we were young, we had so much strength, and there are so many other things which are not there when you age. Likewise, anything and everything what we see in this material world, they are fleeting and illusory, means they seem to be so good and actually they are not good. Whereas in the spiritual world, everything is eternal. There nobody ages. One does not become old there. One does not become less of vitality. He has got full strength. And if one has been employed as a servant of the Supreme Lord in his service, he will be serving him for eternity, for all times to come. And all good things are there in the Supreme Lord's realm, in his Dhamma. Whereas in all other places, whether it is in the material world, that is in the present day world, or in Swargaloka, they are all temporary. All these things they will pass on after some time. They are for some time only, and they will not remain forever. That is for certain. And it clarifies the concept of Maya as a fundamental feature of the material condition. Material condition means Maya is there. And how Maya will go? If we catch Supreme Lord's lotus feet, Maya will not be able to touch us. Maya will be away only, urging individual to seek the ultimate truth beyond superficial attachments. We should not get attached to so much to our families, to our countries, to our nation, to so many organizations like this. There is no requirement. If you are attached to the Supreme Lord, then you are really and actually attached to everything else. That is, if there is only one attachment, it takes care of everything else. And in conclusion, these themes collectively enrich the understanding of devotion, the stark consequences of non devotion, and the philosophical principles that underline this profound post. These are very, very important. If one does practice devotional service, what he will get, that we have learned. And if somebody does not practice devotional service, then what will happen? This also we have learned. That means we should understand these things clearly. And the next slide, worship of the Supreme Lord. Only the Supreme Lord, not any demigod or anything else. Uh, the text passionately conveys that worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Hari, is not just important but essential for spiritual elevation and genuine self understanding. It can not be done by anything else. Sri Hari means whether it is Krishna or Rama or Nrsingadev or any incarnation of the Supreme Lord or Vishnu, whatever it is, one should worship him only and nobody else. And the thoughtful exchanges between King Nimi and Sri Chamasa serve as a poignant cautionary tale illustrating the grave consequences that befall those who neglect worship. Individuals who ignore this divine connection are depicted as lost and misguided, reinforcing the critical nature of the spiritual practice. That's why we should not forget the Supreme Lord, and we should teach this to others and let everybody, anybody, and everybody in this world they become devotees of the Supreme Lord. And this emphasis of on devotion, that is bhakti or devotional service or loving devotional service, highlights it as the most profound path to liberation, fostering deep connection with the divine while simultaneously exposing the dangers of material desires and ignorance. If we follow, what we will get, this we have learned. If we do not follow, then what is our destination? That also we have learned. And social orders and spiritual hierarchy, the text meticulously outlines the four varnas and the four ashramas, the stages, and demonstrating their vital roles within the tapestry of society and how they intertwine with the modes of nature. As we discussed already, these are very, very necessary. We should follow them, but over a period of time, the things have totally changed. When the Britishers they came to India, they stopped all these gurukulas. The Varnashrama Dharma, they stopped. They said anybody taking birth in a, say, for example, Brahmana family, he becomes a Brahmana. But this was not in our original Vedic system. It is as per the mentality of the person. In one family, there could be one Brahmana, one Kshatriya, one Vaishya, and one Sudra also. And nowadays, people have misunderstood the word Sudra, thinking that he is the lowest. He is not the lowest. Actually, he is the most fortunate. As per in the Vedic system, the most fortunate is the one who is in the lowest order. Because just by serving others, he will get what the others will not get in thousands and crores of years of penance. So that is not understood by people nowadays, and they try to criticize. By detailing the origins and the responsibilities each social order, the text illuminates a structured, purposeful approach to spirituality inherent in the Vedic tradition. In the Vedic tradition, this Varnashrama Dharma, Varnas and Ashramas, this is a very structured, calculated, and purposeful approach which should be recognized and should not be discarded. And this hierarchy serves as a foundational framework guiding individuals in their spiritual pursuits. It underscores the importance of fulfilling prescribed duties while remaining devoted to the Lord, ensuring a harmonious and enriching life trajectory. And nobody, even in the present day world, even in ISKCON or anywhere else, nobody is telling don't do any service, don't earn money. Nobody is saying this. You earn money, but spend some time, spare some time for the Supreme Lord and do your duties. Don't do anything what is not written in the Shastra, like say, don't eat non-veg and don't drink wine. All these things they are told in the Shastra. If one has to follow, still one has to do his normal duties in the society. Then one is totally perfect. Okay, next, the consequences of disrespecting the divine. The text powerfully articulate that neglecting worship or showing disrespect toward the Lord, not only the Lord but toward his devotees also, inevitably leads to a fall from one's spiritual position, often resulting in profound suffering and a hellish existence. The person will suffer and ultimately he will go to the hell to be purified. Then he will come back after many, many lifetimes. And this theme emerges forcefully through discussions about the fate of those who forsake the divine, solidifying the necessity of reverence toward the Supreme Being. One should practice devotional service, that is in very brief. And it provides a stark reminder of moral and ethical ramifications of disrespecting divine authority. Now, in the present day society, people are not respecting the divine authority. Therefore, there are so many problems have come up, and people are have become totally unethical, and the unavoidable consequences of living contrary to one's spiritual wisdom. Now, materialism versus spirituality. The text offers a compelling critique of materialistic pursuits that distract individuals from their spiritual growth. If we follow the material things, then we will be distracted. And the discussion surrounding the misguided practices of materialistic followers of the Vedas serve as a vivid warning against the conflating ritual action with genuine spirituality. People also misinterpret the Vedas also, like we were talking the other day, before Lord Buddha came, people used to highlight that it is given in the Vedas to kill animals, and these are totally misguided practices. And the juxtaposition highlights the fleeting nature of material success. This we spoke about the fleeting nature, it comes and goes and it is not permanent at all, encouraging individuals to pursue spiritual realization over transient pleasure, ultimately guiding them toward a richer and more meaningful existence. Now, the ignorance and the misguided practices, we will talk about them. Numerous texts confront the ignorance of those who misinterpret Vedic teachings to justify sinful behaviors such as violence against animals and indulgence in sensuality. This we spoke, and this focus on ignorance aligns with spiritual assertions that without proper guidance, individuals risk misapplying their knowledge and veering into destructive behaviors. Now, what is given in the Shastras that is will be misguided, misunderstood if we do not follow what is told by the Guru or the sadhus. And this is what was happening at some point of time. That's why Lord had to take an incarnation, come and guide. And this theme underscores the crucial need for proper understanding and guidance from enlightened beings to navigate the often complex path of dharma and spiritual practice, fostering reliance on wise spiritual leaders within the community. But please remember here what is meant, those who are in the disciplic succession, not anybody else. Mercy and compassion toward the ignorant. The text earnestly advocate for compassion toward those who are ignorant or misled. They should be guided by people who have got the knowledge. The call to exercise mercy embodies the spirit of spiritual leaders dedicated to uplifting others through instruction and meaningful association. That's why we emphasize so much on sadhu sangha. And this theme underscores the vital role of community and compassion in spiritual progress. If one thinks I know what is to be done, I'll follow that. No, it has to be done in the community. One should be in a congregation of the devotees, and that what will happen? The other devotees will be seen by this person, and he will learn from them, and he will ask them, and he will learn from them, and nurturing a sense of unity by highlighting interconnectedness of all beings in the profound journey toward understanding the divine. And then the ultimate goal of life, the text culminate in powerful assertion that the ultimate purpose of human existence is spiritual realization and liberation from the shackles of material suffering, and ultimately going to the Lord's Dhamma for his service. That is the basic aim. And various texts illuminate the transient nature of worldly attachments and inevitability of death. If somebody has taken birth, he is destined to die, urging seekers to pursue a higher truth beyond the mundane. We do not know when death will approach us. We do not know how many days will be here in this material world. That's why we should not waste a single moment. We should serve the Supreme Lord in whatever way we can. And this theme inspires a transformative perspective, inviting individuals to recognize life as a sacred opportunity. This human life which the Lord has given us very mercifully, we should take that to be an opportunity to transcend material existence and deepen our connection with the absolute truth. And in conclusion, the thematic elements collectively underscore the essential tenets of Vedic philosophy regarding worship, duty, the nature of materialism, and the profound importance of knowledge and compassion in the pursuit of spiritual truth. We have discussed all these things in very, very great detail. And now I come to an end of today's class. And now the session is open for question and answers and your comments. Thank you very much.
Very nicely done, Prabhuji, as usual, always.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Sharad Prabhuji. Um, so, Prabhuji, just a question, nice one. I just missed early some point. But, saying that the Shudras, they are most fortunate, right? So, I'm just taking up that. Even Mahatma Gandhi said Harijan, they are the people of Haris, right? He says Harijan, all the Shudras, Mahatma Gandhi. But how to communicate that point? It's a very difficult. As you say that, the serving other communities by simple sweeping the temple, one can get elevated, right? They can get the mukti. And ideal example is the Janabai in Maharashtra. She was not allowed. She was coming from that community, being woman. She was not allowed to enter into temple, but the Lord came and had a wonderful pastime, right? So it's very difficult to communicate that point to the people. People, they don't understand. Serving other, that they always, the meaning is subservient, but that is not the meaning. How to get over that, Prabhuji? How to communicate to that you are not last in the lane, but you are fortunate. You like Brahmanas, they have to follow so many rules and regulations. Even small fault, they undergo a lot of penalties, right? All other people, but where Shudras, they are easily forgiven for there. But along this, how to communicate that point to those people, Guruji?
Well, as we see, the whole Vedic tradition has been distorted over a period of time. And people, instead of calling the Varnas, we are saying these are the castes. And then what happened? People thought, I am Brahmana, that's why I am in a higher position. So and so is not Brahmana, he is in a lower position than me. And these things carried on in the society. You see, this is in India only. In other traditions, other countries, this thing is not there. This is most fortunate. But what is the meaning of this text here in the given Shastras? And that those people who are deprived, like say the Sudras, because they are serving others, they are not getting time for other things like sadhu sangha or hearing the Vedic literature or learning them, because they are not learning in the Gurukula. I am talking of the Vedic society. That's why they were not taught. That's why they got disillusioned. They should be taught, they should be told. And there is, if you see in the present day society, there is no caste system also. It is not there. And nobody asks. We have never asked anybody, you are from which caste. In my lifetime, I have not seen. And that means this is gradually going out. People should not think that some human being is in a lower position because he is born in such a family. Why one is born in a poor family or a deprived family? It is because of the karma only and nothing else. Even the Brahmanas may say we are the highest, but even you can see Brahmanas, they are also begging because they are so poor. Such things are there. People have to understand these things, and those distortions in the society, they need to be corrected. But the correction is also taking place in the opposite direction now. The others, they are also suffering. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, people complain that I'm born in this particular way, so it's not my fault. What can I do? They're only partially right in that. Lord says, Abhijatasya, just because you're born that way, and that was because of the karma. Okay, but Lord always gives an opportunity, even though you may be born a Shudra or whatever that, you still can correct yourself. That is the most powerful transformative nature of bhakti process is all about. We have been given multiple opportunities, multiple chances to improve upon that. The moment you wake up, call that as a morning, okay? And you begin following, nothing is lost permanently. You still have an opportunity to correct yourself and come back to the path that is recommended in our Shastra and our Guru Sadhu Shastra. So, and that's what, again, another important aspect of my hypothesis. How do we get back on the track, regardless of what might have happened in the past? But there is always a bright future, and that devotion is the way to go, and devotion gives multiple opportunity to correct ourselves. Okay?
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Nicely explained.
The Lord gives us so much opportunities, we should understand them. And we should make complete use of this lifetime.
And this human lifetime is so important. People don't realize that, you know. And the West most important opportunity that we got, because only in human form of life we have been given higher level of consciousness, intelligence. All these things make use of it, and in that you seek help and guidance from those who are above you, spiritually, I mean.
Like Parikshit Maharaj, he knew that he has got 7 days left. We do not know if it is 7 days or 7 minutes or 7 seconds. That should be known to us. We should know that it is fleeting. That's why we should take this opportunity to be a servant of the Supreme Lord. And we should try to remember Him under all circumstances. If this remembering.
So, in a nutshell, if you really follow these particular chapters on these questions of King Nimi to these 9 Yogendras, there is a vast treasure of information. Everything that you need to know is compressed right there in these chapters.
Yes, Prabhuji. It is the whole essence is given, these 9 questions. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji. Wonderful class.
Thank you so much,
Prabhuji, yes, Prabhuji. In today's our times, because all the varnas and ashrams have got mixed up, but most of the general crowd who are working class, they might be working in multinational companies or with big salaries, but ultimately, suppose if I'm working in a company, I am a Shudra only, no?
Actually, the whole this essence of varnashram system is really misunderstood completely, and it has been given a wrong name. Everything you people do not understand what actually meant, as Krishna says. What does he say in that particular important verse? That Maya system that he created. Yeah, so guna karma vibhaga, that is the most important element of it. People are completely mistranslated, and that's a fault of many these YouTube lectures also. They completely bewilder ordinary people. That way we must understand, and it's our duty to let the society properly understand what is Varnashram system. As Prabhuji just mentioned, that the 4 varnas and 4 ashramas are not just the way it has been explained before. It's not like that. You have to understand in proper spirit, and that is really meant to make progress. That's what Krishna says, that in that very key verse about varnashram system.
Like people say,
So
Like,
Samita Mataji, when she said that if you work in a particular, company or something, are we meant to Shudra? Now you have to properly understand there also the word Shudra is again given a wrong thing. Actually, Shudras are given much more opportunities. You have to really understand that. And remember the Brahmanas are supposed to be in pure mode of goodness, right? Mode of goodness, not pure mode of goodness, material mode of goodness. Kshatriyas are in the mode of passion because they are required in that particular profession, all right? And the Vaishyas are in the mixed mode. Shudras are in the mode of ignorance. But even in that, Lord has given the opportunity for Shudras by serving the higher classes. They make progress. Uh, and even if you are born Shudras, still that's not the end of the world. When they come to the mode of particular bhakti process, they can make progress and they far exceed the so-called Brahmanas, and coming to the platform higher than Brahmana is becoming a Vaishnava. Haribol. I'm sorry, Prabhuji, go ahead now.
like most of the people, they would say that I am doing my work, I am doing service. But what are we actually doing? As per the Vedic system, what is that karma? What we call karma, it is Vedic karma. All these things, what we think we are doing, except a very few of them, they are all akarmas only. But leave aside that, we have to do these things in the present day world. We should not forget devotional service. We should not forget the Supreme Lord. So that is very, very important.
And भगवान की दृष्टि में ब्राह्मण क्षत्रिय वैद्य all the regardless of what you are, in his consideration you're all equal. He gives opportunity proportion to everyone that they can understand. To level up their understanding, the Lord gives information. If you study Bhagavad Gita itself, everything you need to know is right there in a very summarized, brief form that everybody can understand that. Bhagavad Gita knowledge is extremely important, extremely important. That's an ABC of it. We have been talking now, we have been learning some advanced shastras, but ultimately the sar, the essence, is all there in Bhagavad Gita.
Any other comment or question?
हरे कृष्णा, दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी. सो वंडरफुल क्लास प्रभु जी. हम अगर ऐसे कितने कंट्रीज है अपने हमारे देश में, हमारे वर्ल्ड में, जिनको किसी को कुछ मालूम ही नहीं है कि व्हाट इज डिवोशन, व्हाट इज डिवोशनल सर्विस, व्हाट कृष्णा, तो वो सब तो कुछ भी मालूम जिसको नहीं है, उनका क्या गति होगा प्रभु जी? कभी आ सकेंगे ये लाइन में वो लोग?
The Lord will give them a chance someday, because deliberately people don't accept so many things.
मतलब प्रभु जी जिनको कुछ मालूम ही नहीं है कि कृष्णा है कि हमें, तो वो लोग अंडर द इग्नोरेंस मोड में होंगे ना प्रभु जी? दे आर इन इग्नोरेंस मोड.
No, but ignorance is not just like, if you have a laws that you drive 5 miles per hour, and if you say to the police when you are caught, oh, I didn't know about it, do the police will forgive him? No, he will give them a ticket. So ignorance is not a defense mechanism. But proportionately, because you're totally ignorant of it, there is a certain degree of leeway is there. But people who are knowable, Brahmanas, and still they do some things that is really terrible, they get a bigger punishment. Remember that Yudhishthira Maharaj, and the Pandavas and Kauravas were given a test by Bhishma Pitama. Remember? For the same crime, exactly the same offense, Yudhishthira Maharaj directed different kinds of punishment. Normally, if you are Brahmana class, you have been given a higher level of intelligence, and still, if they misuse their position, the punishment for the same crime is far, far exceeds that of a Shudra or ignorant people committing a certain offense. So that also you need to understand. So what Mataji is asking question, the people are totally ignorant, born that way, they don't know nothing about all these things. So what is their life things in there? But even there, the basic rules of morality, ethical concerns, that is available to everyone in the world. Everyone in the world, even in the Western society. But because the Western society by nature, they completely, the materialism, everything is money, wealth, that is the given the excessive kind of importance of it, that misguides people in general. And they learn by experience again, that even if you have a look at, some people are born billionaires, right? And they have been given extreme power also. What happens? That corrupt people, and eventually they pay for it. So ignorant people, it's not totally lost for them. They have been given, they will be given another opportunity for that. They are there in particular, that particular position because of their previous karmas. Okay. And that karma is also given a wrong name in a modern society. And the Britishers who ruled India, they completely twisted around everything, Varnashram system, karmas, everything they twisted around. But you have to properly understand that is again explained in the right way in Bhagavad Gita. What's karma? Everything is explained very nicely. Karma, vikarma, akarma, all these things. So explained nicely.
Yes, like
Yes, Prabhuji.
you see in many traditions. I'll just give one example. Like jihad. They say those who don't follow us, kill them and all that. Actually, you know what is the meaning of jihad? What is given in what is meant in Quran? It says you should fight with all the bad qualities in you. That is what is jihad. But people take it some other way. That is not correct. Like
In
this.
the name of religion, they kill people. That is no God has given that thing. But they use the name of God and they said, okay, ye kafir hai, usko maar dalo.
Yes.
प्रभु जी, जहाँ दया ही नहीं है वहाँ धर्म कैसे होगा? जो 4 पिलर है धर्म के, तप, शौच, दया, सत्यम, तो दया है ही नहीं और मारते हैं सब सो कोल सबके नाम पे, तो क्या उसका मतलब ही नहीं है प्रभु जी, तो कहाँ धर्म आया?
Yes, like this sacrifice, what we call in the Vedic system, it does not talk of killing anybody. Say drinking wine. There is nothing like drinking wine in the Vedic literature. It says maximum it is smelling. That what is there in the Vedic process. Like all these things, they are much different, but over a period of time, they have been misinterpreted for sense gratification only. That's why we are in this stage. Rather, in any of the religions, no religion ever teaches you should kill others, you should do this thing, that thing, which are not correct. No, nobody says. But people have taken up for their own profit, for their own satisfaction, which is that's why we are in this stage, and we will study in the 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam what will be the next stage or the ultimate stage of Kali Yuga. This is going to be very, very horrible experience. Hopefully, we should not take birth at that time and let this birth be our last birth.
Very true, Prabhuji.
Our sadhana has to be very sincere, Prabhu. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji, our sadhana has to be very, very serious and very sincere. Then we will not take any but, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yes, yes, we should. If you see, like in the very beginning, perhaps you had not joined, I said there are so many things given in our tradition in which one can avoid going to the hellish life.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. Yes,
Any
Prabhu.
other
Listen,
question
Prabhu.
or comment? Yes, yes.
Yes, Prabhuji, all that you mentioned, no, wearing tulsi mala and all the things
Yes.
that you mentioned.
Yes, yes, yes. These simple, simple things, taking the name of the God, wearing tulsi mala, wearing the Urdhva Pundraka, not insulting any Vaishnava or for that matter anybody else. All these small little things, going to various holy places, staying there for some time, all these things, they are so important.
Prabhuji, best thing you explained was, I think you or Charu Prabhuji, two things, either raga or dvesha. If it is there, you will definitely take birth.
Yes,
Rag is there, you will take birth. Even dvesh is there, you will take birth. So
yes,
best thing is like one should try to respect everyone and not get into this too much of attachment and envy. Then also one is like,
yes, yes.
and the
Agent,
whole thing of seeing Krishna in everything is this only, that you see why do we have to see Lord in everyone, so that we should respect that person.
yes, that is very, very true, very, very correct. And what is our main fault? It is associating with non-devotees, and the majority are non-devotees, if you see. And we should try to distinguish. And if we have to associate just for business only. There is no requirement to associate with so many people, associate with the Supreme Lord, associate with his devotees, and in the scientific way, there are so many means available to us. We should make use of them. And the most important thing which can lead one to go to the hell, there are two things. One is TV and one is mobile. Therefore, one should use them for the correct purpose. Like this, everywhere one should see what is the correct use. So in that way, we can improve ourselves and do better. So, okay, if there are no other questions or comments, then we can conclude the today's class with the Nrsinga prayers. Any volunteer?
Yes, Prabhuji, I'll do. Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Please accept my humble obeisance. This is all glory to Shri Prabhu. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Praladaladaine. Praladaladaine. Hiranyakashipurvakshaha. Hiranyakashipurvakshaha. Shilatankanakalaye. Shilatankanakalaye. Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha. Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha. Yato Yato Yamitato Narsimha. Yato Yato Yamitato Narsimha. Bhai Narsimha Hridaye Narsimha. Bhai Narsimha Hridaye Narsimha. Narasimhamadiం Sharanam Prapate. Narasimhamadiం Sharanam Prapate. तव करकमलवरेणकम् अद्भुतशृङ्गम् दलित हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गम् केशवदीता नररूप जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तव करकमलवरेणकम् अद्भुतशृङ्गम् दलित हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गम् केशवधृता नरहरिरूप जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जयो नरसिंहदेव 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 जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि बोल हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे थैंक यू प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम
Thank you.
Thank you, Mata.
Thank you, everyone.
Then after 8.5 hours, we have got another class. And next class is by Charu Prabhuji and recap by Sanjeev Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Very nice class today.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, Hare
Um,
Krishna.
Hari Bol.
Hare
So look forward to see you soon enough. Hari Bol.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dhanavad Pranam.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam to all devotees. Bhakti
Hare
Shila
Krishna.
Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai ho.
Yeah.